Giving praise to God, I'm Tony, and welcome to Teaching a Lion to Sing. Good morning, and with God as my witness, my protector, and my motivator, we're going to make it happen in 25. Welcome to Teaching a Lion to Sing. I'm Tony, and you're in the Lion's Den. Here is where we will advocate for the victims of domestic violence and elder abuse. Our goal is to hopefully provide some information that will aid you and family members that might be going through any type of abuse at the hands of family and or intimate partners. Let's be clear. I am not an emergency contact, nor is the information that I provide for you meant to be taken as the gospel. Hopefully, the information that I do provide will point you in the right direction to get the assistance that you need to get out of any abusive situation as safely as possible. If you are in need of immediate assistance, please call 911. Other places could be your local family safety center, advocacy groups, counselors, teachers, and yes, your pastors. So let's jump right into it. When we say domestic violence, what do we vision? Usually it's what we see on the movies. You have a male, white t-shirt, sleeveless, with a beer in his hand, rough beard on his face, standing over a female. She's usually crying or bleeding. That's what we usually think of. That's what we see on the movies. But guess what? We do have those situations. I was a police officer for 33 years. I've seen it way too many times. However, this is not always the case. An abuser can be a man or a woman. Yes, women do abuse. Young or old. They can be rich, they can be poor, they can be your neighbors next door. Abuse can be verbal, it can be physical, it can be mental, and even financial. It can be the withholding of affection to get what you want. Yes, that is abuse. Abuse can take many, many forms. I'll do several videos from here in the Lion's Den, so stay tuned. Today I want to talk a little bit about the system and the abuser or perpetrator. Our system of dealing with abusers, in my opinion, is flawed. Recidivism is high. Recidivism is the abuser's likelihood to continue to abuse. Once the abuser becomes abusive, this cycle usually continues and can be passed down through generations by way of children that watch this abuse or they experience the abuse themselves firsthand. Our approach here is going to be to deal with the abuser. We're going to focus on the abuser because things have to change. So let's talk a little bit about the dynamics of domestic abuse. These are my observations and my opinions. The matrix itself, the entire system. The system is designed to help the victim, which it does a wonderful job of. They provide shelters, they provide places of safety, they provide orders of protection. What they've done for victims is fabulous. With that being said, let's talk a little bit about the abuser, because we tend not to focus so much on the abuser. Our mindset has been for too long, let's lock them up, throw away the key, the problem will disappear. Or the piece of paper that we hand the victim is going to protect her. It helps. It does not protect. It helps. I've gone to several domestic violence conferences in my 33 years as a police officer. And out of all of these domestic violence conferences, I tend to notice a pattern. Just a pattern. You do have exceptions, but this is the pattern, and let me explain it to you. We have the leaders of these conferences, and these leaders are usually females. These females are type A. That means they're aggressive. That means they get the job done. That means they're used to telling people what to do and how they want it done. Okay, that's fine. You might say that's what you want. It is in most cases. But here's the problem. The abuser is a type A wannabe. He's dysfunctional. He wants to be the top dog. So what you end up having is you have the aggressive female that's the leader of the group trying to tell the aggressive wannabe perpetrator what he needs to do and how he needs to do it. Well, that doesn't work. He's not going to fight the female that's telling him what to do. He's not stupid. Well, most of them are stupid, but he's not that stupid. He's going to listen. He's going to act like he gets it. He might even go to jail. But when he gets out, what is he going to do? That aggression is still inside. But now he's pissed. He's pissed because he had to go to jail. He's pissed because a female told him what he needs to do. And he's going to get out and he's going to take it out on the victim. Now, this group that we have at these conferences that's being led by the type A female, the leader of the pack, that's doing a wonderful job. Again, she's doing a great job with the victims. She has people that help her do what she do. They create programs. They advise law enforcement on how to interact with the victims and the abusers. The people that help this type A female, that's the leader of the pack, are usually type B individuals. They're a bit passive. Most of them and a lot of them are former victims themselves. Now, what's the dynamic between them and the abuser? He sees them as weak. He feels like he doesn't have to say anything or talk to these individuals because these are the type of individuals that he wants to prey upon. He's not going to prey on the type A, the leader of the pack. But the type Bs, the ones that are quiet, the ones that are a bit passive, he feels like he has the upper hand on them. So now you have the leader of the pack, the type A female, you have her helpers, type B personalities, and you have them creating programs and or situations where they have to interact with the abuser. He doesn't like any of this. None of this reaches him. He's mad. He's going to listen because he knows if he agrees with it, he knows if he goes to jail for minimum time, he's going to get out. What is he going to do when he get out? Is he rehabilitated? No. He's more pissed off than he was when he went in. And guess who he's looking for now? He's looking for that victim. And this time when he finds that victim, it's going to escalate. It's going to be worse than it was the first time because now he has to teach her a lesson. How dare you call the police on me? I'm going to get you. And this time I'm going to make sure you don't call the police on me again. Now, the one person that's missing from these conferences that I've attended, I've been in Nashville, I've been in Atlanta, every conference I've been to that's domestic violence related. You have the type A female that's leading the pack. You have type B support. Who's missing? Type A positive men. Men that are aggressive in a positive way. These will be your fathers, your husbands, the ones that go to work, go to church, and do what they're supposed to do. They're missing from these conferences. They're the ones that can help control these type A perpetrators, these wannabes. Why? Because they're scared of him. The type A abuser wants to be a type A man. He wants to be a positive type A, not a negative. So he's a little bit intimidated by these men because these men are doing what he wants to do. But they're nowhere to be found. They're not at the conferences. Why aren't they at the conferences? For some odd reason, men are raised to avoid sympathy and empathy when you're dealing with victims. It makes them uncomfortable. They're in a situation that makes them uneasy. Because men don't really know how to relax. They don't know how to bring it down a notch and blend in with that group. So they're not there. They're at home. A lot of them turn a blind eye to the situation because it's not happening in their house. They're not abusive. None of that is in their realm of understanding. So again, how does this type A male enable this type A wannabe abuser? How does he enable him? Because this type A wannabe, this guy, this wimp, this coward that's out here beating up on females, he hangs out with people. Who does he hang out with? When he wants to get away from whatever's bothering him to the point to where he feels like he's got to beat on somebody, he's going to go find his buddies. And he's going to hang out with them. So what happens when he hangs out with them? You've got a group of guys that are drinking together, smoking together, playing sports together. They're doing everything together. Most of the guys he hangs out with are not abusive. And most of them know he's probably abusing somebody. But do they tell him to stop? Do they make it uncomfortable for him? Do they take away his safe haven? No. Unfortunately, there's a bit of empathy and sympathy involved in this group. Because most of these men, somewhere down the line, have had a failed relationship. And we're not necessarily talking about a wife, but it can be going through a divorce. It could be an ex-girlfriend. It can be some female in his life that he feels did him wrong. So when he hears this abusive clown that's in the group, when he hears him start to talk in a negative way about his girlfriend, and you sense that he's doing something bad to this young lady, here comes that sympathy. Well, I remember this girlfriend that did this to me back in the day. Well, I just went through a divorce. So we tend to be quiet. The type A man seems to sit there and he kind of nods and he kind of goes along with the flow. When he knows he needs to tell this dude, stop. That ain't what you need to be doing. But he goes along with it. So now the type A wannabe, the abuser, feels good about the group he's in because they're not telling him no. In a roundabout way, they're telling him, yes, you can do this. So now he leaves the group. He's happy again. He comes around his girlfriend, his wife, and now that anger kicks back in. And now he's been hyped up with his group, his male friends, and now he's going to come back over here, and anything she does is going to set him off. It's going to trigger him. He's weird like that. Again, he's a coward. He has other issues going on inside of his head, but he feels like this young lady is the root of his problems, or his kids. He's going to take out his abuse on any and everybody that's around him with the people that let him. Usually these are people that love him, and they think he's going to change just because they're with him. Not going to happen. He has to make a change in his life, but something has to get him to the point to where he wants to change. And you're wishing it is not going to make it happen. So, Tony, that's me. How do we change this individual? First of all, the mindset has to change. His group has to change. Men in general have to change. We need to understand that, yes, we can bring it down a notch. The name of my advocacy is Teaching a Lion to Sing. Every man is a lion, but not all lions are good. Most of us know how to and when to use our aggression as a lion. And it's usually to protect the ones that we love, not harm them. But you got some thundercats out there, the abusers. They don't understand that. They're just aggressive, period. And they need to be taught differently. Start when they're young. We need to let men know that, yes, there is a softer side of you. Everything does not have to be Tonka truck tough. You don't have to go around beating up on people. You don't have to go around playing with G.I. Joe all day, every day with the mindset that I'm a man, I can't cry. I have to be the way that I am. When I was growing up, my father, married to my mother until the day both of them passed, I never heard my father tell me he loved me until I became a grown man. I knew he loved me. He provided. He took care of us. He took us to Boy Scout meetings. He did what a father was supposed to do. But to hear the words, I love you, come out of his mouth, wasn't going to happen. Men of that generation just didn't do it. So I made a point that when I had my junior, my son, I was in the hospital when he was born. I held him before he left, and I gave him my name. And I promised myself, and I made a promise to him, I'm going to raise you just like my father, with a few exceptions. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to provide for you. And I'm going to tell you I love you. And I want everybody out there to understand, this is Tony talking. As my son grew up, he's a grown man now. He's also in law enforcement. I have a family of law enforcement. Whenever he started to be aggressive in any shape, form, or fashion, in the wrong way, just because he's mad, I corrected that behavior immediately. You're not going to snap at your sister. If I think you're having an argument with your girlfriend, we need to talk. Sit down. This is how it needs to go. This is the grown man talking to you. We don't do that. I was in a bad relationship. I went down through there. I hit rock bottom. I picked myself up and I apologized. I apologized to her. I apologized to myself. And I apologize to God. That will never happen again. We all have to grow. With that being said, men, type A wannabes, abusers, I hope you're watching. I hope you're listening to me. You can still be a lion. I'm not here to turn you into a dog or a cat. You're a lion. You're not a kitten. But you need to learn to redirect that energy, that aggression. And you need to learn how to sing. This is what I need you other people to do. My family, my co-advocates. I need you to stay tuned and join me on Facebook under the moniker Teaching a Lion to Sing. I'll also post videos on YouTube under the same moniker, Teaching a Lion to Sing. Not only will we be advocating for the victims of domestic violence and elder abuse, yeah, we're going to hit all of it. We'll also discuss other social awareness topics. So I need you to be safe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.